Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate your support. Let's get into it. So the first two episodes of WandaVision dropped yesterday on Disney Plus, and I'm just going to give you a review on the episodes 1 and 2. It was the way different start I expected, and I'm going to break that down on how I feel. And today we got a feature and a special guest. You'll get to see him in a minute, but make sure you leave your thoughts on what you thought about the episode down below. Like the video, subscribe. Let's get into it. And I'm also going to issue a major spoiler alert just because I will be talking about spoilers for these two episodes. So today we got my friend Justin here. He watched WandaVision with me last night, so he wanted to hop on, so we got a special guest. So say what's up to everybody, Justin.
I'm Justin. I'm from Midlothian, Texas. I'm excited to be here.
Heck yeah. All right, so basically just my overall thoughts on the first two episodes is that it was the way different start I expected. They teased that WandaVision was going to be a way different type of project, period, not even just a different type of MCU project. And it really was. They're doing this sitcom style thing, and I think it was really interesting. It's just, not a blockbuster action packed, it's just a different type of vibe, which is really nice. It's a really good fresh, especially coming off the fact that we haven't had any new MCU content in over a year and a half. So it was just overall it's pretty good and really interesting.
I really liked it a lot. From the trailers obviously they released before they ended up releasing the series, nobody really knew what was going to happen, and still even now I feel nobody even really knows what is happening. And I feel like we're put in the same spot as Wanda and Vision, especially in episode 2. Just showing their perspective of what is happening and why is it happening.
Yeah. I mean, Wanda, she's manifesting this reality without her really knowing, I think. And so she thinks everything's okay, but it's really not. There's a few times, like Justin pointed out, whenever the camera angle would change during a more dramatic or intense moment, to show that maybe Wanda really doesn't know what's going on, like when Mr. Hart was choking, or whenever she was looking at the helicopter,
The beekeeper,
or when she cut what was that girl's hand? Dottie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just real interesting because, like I said, it's just a way different type of project. And as far as like specific plot points, is there any specific one you want to talk about that you liked or not?
As like you said, the camera angles, especially, it was extremely noticeable because for about 20 minutes until Mr. Hart started choking, the view was a very flat, very 1960s angle, or almost like an I Love Lucy or a couple other, or Andy Griffith Show type thing, where it's a very generic sitcom and just thrown in with a few like Marvel, Wanda and Vision tropes type things. And then as soon as that happened, it immediately changed. And that it caught me off guard a little, but I liked it a lot how they just kind of set the mood with those type of things. And the new intro,
yeah,
on episode 1 they had the new Marvel intro, and then it transitioned to black and white. Also at the same time, throwing the aspect ratio to a smaller, almost full screen 4:3 ratio. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. And as far as what I can see for the show going forward, I think that the show's going to get pretty dark pretty fast. There was, especially in episode 2, it really picked up on like the more intense moments, maybe show Wanda kind of grip on this reality is kind of loosening a little bit. And, the Sword people are trying to contact her from the outside. So I think there's something happening that's causing Wanda to do this, and Sword's trying to figure it out, and Wanda's trying to figure out that it's even happening. I'm interested to see what they do with Vision, like after the show, like what is going to be the conclusion of him afterwards. Because in the main timeline he's dead, but in this new reality, he's very alive and well. I also thought it was really cool that Paul Bentley got to act more outside of just with all the makeup and stuff. He's a fantastic actor and everything like that.
Absolutely. And then I feel like episode 1 was more of a introduction episode where it's kind of giving you a hint about what's going to happen, and then episode 2 is what's going to really start to kick off the plot. And that's really where it starts getting a darker theme compared to episode 1, where episode 1 was very lighthearted except for the Mr. Hart scene.
Yeah. I agree. That's kind of my basic thoughts, and I think really shows the reality warping powers that Wanda has. You know, she's changing everything on the spot, or when they're at the magic show, she's got to improvise to try to fit in or whatever. And then at the end, whenever her and Vision walk outside, and it's that beekeeper dude, and she's just like, no, and then it rewinds on kind of a VCR, type beat, and then it comes back, and it's just the same scene, but it kind of plays out a little happier because Wanda's trying to create this perfect reality in her head. I think that's super interesting. I think a character that's going to be super important going forward is Agnes. That was her name, right? Their neighbor.
Yes.
Yeah. If I don't know if you can really see it, but in that bottom right corner, it's just a theory I saw on Twitter. I can't really read the handle, but it says, so we can all agree that Agnes' husband is definitely Mephisto, and he's the main villain, right? And it's just a few lines when her Dottie says, you know, the devil is in the details, Bev, and then Agnes says that that's not the only place he is. And in the comics, not that I've ever read comics, but this is just what I've been told, Mephisto's the one that kind of manifests as Wanda and Vision's kids, kind of a sick, I don't really know the details besides that, but I think it's going to be really interesting, and he could potentially play into Doctor Strange 2, which we know Wanda's going to be in, so overall, I just thought it was really interesting. I think it was a great start. I was just super excited to get new MCU content anyway, so I was probably going to love it, and that's all I got. Justin?
Thanks for having me, John.
Perfect. All right, thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed the special guest. You're probably going to see Justin a time again and again throughout the semester. Just make sure to check out all the linked content. Leave your thoughts on the first two episodes below. Have a great day.